again, Teresa here. Welcome back to Lost My Thread. Today is very exciting because we will be crowning the champion of the Dueling Dungarees. If you are joining me now and haven't seen the previous videos, I will put a link up above because it's going to make a lot more sense if you know about the previous videos. But I have been comparing two different overalls / dungaree patterns to try and see which one I like the best. The two patterns that I've chosen are the Heyday Dungarees by Waves and Wild and the Jenny overalls by Closet Core Patterns. In the first video of this series, I introduced the contestants, told you a bit about why I've chosen the two that I have, got into the design details of the two, and showed you the fabrics that I chose for them as well. The second video, I compared their PDF patterns, how easy it was to pick your size, print it out, put it together, and the winner of that one was the Heyday Dungarees. After that, we had round two, which was comparing the sewing techniques and the instructions overall. So I looked at how they came together, what the finish was like, and the winner of that round was the Jenny overalls by Closet Core Patterns. So today is more just about the overall styling of these overalls. So what they are like on me, how I feel they look on my body, how I feel wearing them, whether they fit my own personal style, and I will be picking the winner of the overall Dueling Dungarees at the end. So without further ado, I am going to show you these overalls on my body. I will get into a little bit more detail later, but I just want to tell you the overall effect of each of these overalls and how I think they look. So first off are the Jenny overalls. I feel like these ones fit me extremely well. I did a lot of work to get the fit of these right, so if you do want to see, I put a little video together about how I fit trousers, specifically fitting these trousers to my body, so I'll put up a link to that as well if you want to have a look and see how I got the fit that I did. But I feel like it worked out so beautifully well. I'm really excited with how they look. I think the design of these type of overall, the shape of them, they are meant to hug your curves a bit more closely than the other ones, and I like that on my body. I feel like that fits my style. I feel comfortable in that. I like to accentuate my curves, and I feel like this one looks really nice on me. These also do have such a professional finish. I feel like you wouldn't necessarily think that I made these overalls. I imagine most people would be surprised to hear that I made these. I feel like they look so slick. They're really quite sort of comfortable and relaxed, but also I think really cool, cooler than I was expecting them to look in the end. They really are just a lot of fun to wear, and I'm so glad that I picked the fabric that I did. This is a non-stretch needle cord fabric that I got from Higgs & Higgs, and because it's non-stretch, it's obviously not going to be super stretchy and moving around and sort of changing shape, but I feel like there's just a little bit of give in the corduroy, so I feel like it kind of holds me in where I want it to, but allows me to move where I need to as well. I do really like wearing corduroy, and it's not about the, the fabrics. Obviously, I'm not going to be comparing the fabrics, we're comparing the patterns, but I feel like it was a good choice, and I'm really happy that I went with it, and I think it suited the style of these overalls really nicely. The Heyday Dungarees are a pretty different style, and I like having something that's pretty different, so that way I feel like I can wear both pairs of overalls and not feel like I'm just wearing the same outfit again. So they're a very different vibe, these ones. I feel like these ones are much more just relaxed, cool, no fuss, just throw these on, no big deal, and I think that's a really cool option to have. They are, as you can see, a much more relaxed fit, and I do think that that's a cool look, but it's probably not the kind of fit that I prefer for me on my body on the day-to-day. Also, these ones do have this kind of, straight down the front one piece. It's not separated at the waist, and I feel like that accentuates my tummy a little bit more, and I feel like especially when I'm tucking a lot of things in there, it can bulk my tummy out a bit more than even it normally would do. So I feel like they're not necessarily as flattering of a shape if that's what you're going for. But I do think they have like a really super cool, slightly oversized but not too baggy kind of look to them. As far as the fabric, I think linen was the perfect choice. I love the color of this fabric. I feel like it's just really nice and vibrant and cool and relaxed, and I think it's going to be great when the weather gets really hot. I think there's just a really cool, carefree look to the whole vibe of these overalls. As far as comfort, I would say they're both generally pretty comfortable. I haven't worn overalls in many years, so bear that in mind. I was kind of going into it with a figuring out what I think of wearing overalls as much as anything. But the Heyday Dungarees, because they are quite relaxed fit everywhere, it really basically almost feels like you're wearing a dress. I wear a lot of dresses. I find dresses very comfortable. They're not too tight, they're not too clingy, they don't kind of pull you in any direction. Once they're kind of fitted from this area down, they just generally fall, the ones that I like to wear. So these overalls feel pretty similar. So, you know, doing things like sitting, standing, walking, you know, lounging, laying on your side, watching TV, something like that, all going to be super comfortable. The only thing I will say is when I'm doing things where I'm kind of crouching, squatting, leaning forward, it does pull up slightly in the back. So in my kind of bum, it starts to give me a slight wedgie thing. Now I have worked at like loosening the straps to make them a bit lower down, so they're not necessarily going to be sort of pulling up as much when I lean forward, but then it ends up feeling really saggy between my legs. So it's just a little bit more difficult to get the fit where I want it. And I think that's just because of the way these overalls are, because they're not fitted at all. They just kind of slide and pull up and down with my body. They're not going to be fixed in one spot. And that's probably just really standard for overalls. But like I said, I haven't worn them in a while. And it was just something that I didn't find as comfortable, particularly when I was like cutting out fabric when I was wearing these and I was on the ground, leaning over, bending, stretching. I was feeling these just ride up a little bit, and it wasn't my favorite thing about these overalls. I have done a little video of me taking these overalls off and putting them on again, just so that you can understand what that is actually like, because that for me is a big part of the overalls, whether they're going to be functional or whether they're not going to be. So don't worry, I am wearing leggings in these, so I'm not going to be flashing anything indecent, but I just wanted to show you what they're like. So these ones, you do not have to undo the straps to take them on and off, which is a huge bonus. I think that's really great that you can just slide them over your shoulders and pull them down. I will say for me, there was a little bit of wriggling having to go on to get them over my hips, up and down over my hips, not in a dramatic way. And I do think that is just because for me, my particular proportions, my waist is 31 inches, my hips are 42 inches. So there's 11-inch difference between the two. So these are going to be fitting where they're meant to at the waist. They fit at the waist, but to get them over my hips, I do have to do a slight little shimmy to get them down and to get them up again. No big deal. I'm just talking about like absolute ease, how simple it is. And jumpsuits that I've worn a lot tend to come on and off a little bit easier around the hip area. So I thought it was just worth mentioning. The other thing is because there's no kind of side openings or anything like that, you really have to kind of jam your hand in, down and around to be able to tuck shirts in, which is just a little bit awkward. It's not a big deal, and I think once you put them on, they tend to stay where they are, but when I've kind of shimmied myself back into the overalls to pull them up again, it sometimes bunches the shirt up, so I have to kind of jam everything back down again, and it's just a little bit snug to get my arm in there to move everything back where it wants to be. I do think on the whole though, I really enjoy wearing these. They're a lot of fun to wear and they are very comfortable. The Jenny overalls I worried might not be as comfortable because they are more fitted, but they really are surprisingly comfortable because they're fitted well, I suppose. They tend to stay where they fit. So when I lean over, bend over, crouch over, they don't shift up and down in the same way that the Heyday Dungarees do. So when I'm like, say, you know, on the ground cutting out fabric, leaning over and stretching, the trousers just sit where the trousers sit. I will say when I did first make these, I had some issues with the length of the straps. So you do have options when you're buying these kind of straps, whether you get a little slider so that you can adjust where the strap sits. I didn't even think about that. I just bought some buckles and I didn't particularly look at what came with them. And then I only realized after I bought them that they don't have a metal slider. So wherever I stitch them in place, that is where they're going to be. And when I first made them, I made them a little bit too short because I was just trying them on. It's difficult to know until you're properly wearing them. So if you're going to be making any kind of overalls with buckles, I would say if you don't get one with a slider, I mean, get one with a slider if you can. If you don't get a buckle with a slider, maybe just try and pin them in place where you think you want them to be and wear them for a little while because you might find that they need to be slightly differently placed than where you think they do. So when I did have them initially where I'd stitched them all down, top stitched them all down, as I was going around and doing things like bending over, sitting down, I was finding that they were starting to ride up my bum a little bit. But when I didn't have the straps on and I just put the trouser bit on, they fit me well. So I knew that it wasn't the fit in the trouser, it was just the strap was kind of hoiking everything up from the back. So I decided to just readjust those straps and make them a little bit looser. And I was so glad that I did that. It was kind of a faff to unpick all my top stitching, but now they fit me really well. They're super comfortable and they never ride up my bum. As far as kind of lounging, laying, they're not going to be as comfortable as the Heyday Dungarees around the kind of waist area, because I do have the zipper on the side. I do have, you know, a waistband around the side, or sort of around my middle as well. So if I was going to be, say, laying on the couch watching TV, something like that, they're not going to be quite as comfortable as the Heyday Dungarees. And so these ones I'm going to show you as well how they are going on and off of my body. I will say that these ones are a bit quicker and easier to get off than the Heyday Dungarees. So say like you really need to go to the bathroom, you need to get these overalls off, there's no problem. They come off really easily. I was a bit worried that the zipper and the side button might be a little bit tricky to get off. I found if I undo the zipper first and then I flick up the button from the bottom upward, it just comes off super easy, super quick. And I can get both those off in no time, pull those buckles off, and I am good to go. Because once you undo the buckles and you undo the side zips, because I've done a zipper on each side, they just drop off, which is great. So it just means that you can get them off your body really easily. Putting them on, it's a little bit more of a faff because you're not just pulling them up over your body and pulling the straps on like you are with the Heyday Dungarees. So you need to get the little, you know, the buttons at the side, pull the zipper up on each side. But I will say if you pull the zipper up on one side, you then have quite a lot of space for that kind of tucking your shirt around down to make sure that it's all sitting where you want it to be before you zip the other side up. So from that point of view, that is easier to get everything placed where you want it to be. And then the straps, you do need to kind of do a crisscross as you're bringing them up over your shoulders, which did twist my brain a tiny bit the first time I was doing it. But once you get into the rhythm of it, you know what you're doing. It's not a problem. But you also want to make sure that the straps are facing the right way so that I don't have my lining showing on the outside. So it's a little bit more thought having to go into putting these on, but it's certainly not anything too bad. I do also feel like the fastenings are kind of fun, like putting the buttons into the loops, pulling the zippers up, putting the buckles into place. It all feels quite kind of satisfying and slick and neat, bringing it all together when you're putting it on. Both of these also have some really fantastic pockets, and I want to talk about those in a little bit more detail. So the Jenny overalls have these cute pockets on the front of the bib. There's a nice slant to those, which I think is a really cute look, and I think it is quite flattering across my bust area. But I'm probably not going to use those pockets, let's be honest. Any kind of front bib pocket, if you put anything into there, as soon as you lean over, it's all just going to fall out. So I think they're more decorative, but I think they're at least a cute decoration, and I'm glad that I put them on for sure. The side pockets are a great size. I did a little video of all the pockets as well because I wanted to show you how roomy these pockets are. I hate ready-to-wear pockets on women's trousers. They are a waste of time. There's no point having them on there. They're like, you know, 2 inches long. These are really good, proper pockets. And so I wanted to show you that my phone, my modern phone that's, I would say, pretty bulky, fits very easily into that front pocket. I can crouch, I can move around, and it's nice and comfortable there. It feels secure. It's very pleasant to put your hand in those pockets because they are quite roomy, so you can store a whole lot on those. And then also there is a back pocket, which is equally roomy. I think they're a really good size. I did think when I was making the next ones, I might make them a little bit shorter just because they do seem like quite an oversized pocket, but as far as the function, they're a really good pocket. So the phone goes in there. Again, I can kind of crouch, sort of crouch around, move around, and they are really usable pockets. I was also really happy because I took the extra time to try and get the pocket placement just right, and I think that they look really cute on my bum where they are. For the Heyday Dungarees, we've also got that front bib pocket, which I'm gonna call decorative pocket because I'm not putting anything in the pocket, but it does look cute. And again, I'm glad that it's there. I think it ties the whole thing together. The front pockets and the back pockets are identical. So the ones in the front and the back of the legs, they're exactly the same size. They're installed in very much the same way, just a different location. And again, they are nice, roomy, good size pockets. Love a good pocket. So my phone, again, fits easily into the pocket on the front. I can crouch, squat, move around, and that stays nice and neat where I want it to be. The back pocket, I would say the location of it, once you put something in the pocket, it's a bit low so that when you do sit or crouch or move around, it is a little bit tighter up against you, and it doesn't really, I don't know, it just kind of doesn't sit quite comfortably when you're putting things in the back pocket. So I'm probably less likely to use the back pockets on these. I could have put the pockets higher, and I did mess around with the pocket placement on both the front and the back pockets of these, but I felt like when they were higher, they just looked a bit peculiar sort of for the proportions of these overalls. I feel like they look good where they are, but maybe a little bit more decorative. The next thing I will show you is I did a little try on of lots of my me-made shirts. So I pulled out all of my me-made shirts, looked to see which of these I thought would potentially go with the overalls, tried them on to see which ones I felt suited one pair or the other pair of overalls, or maybe didn't. And I will say that most of my me-made shirts I've made multiple versions of, so I was able to pair one type of fabric with one of the overalls and another type of fabric with the other, because I'm not interested to look at necessarily the colors, whether the colors go, but more just the style of the shirt, because those are the kind of style that I want. I can buy all kinds of fabrics to make the right ones that kind of match a little bit more, but I just wanted to see what I felt like was going to suit my personal style, fit into my wardrobe as it is right now. So I will do a little run through of these and tell you what I think about the different t-shirts and make a little tally as I go along to see which one suits my current wardrobe better. So first of all, we've got the Basic Instinct tee. This is a free t-shirt pattern by Secundo Second Piano. Big favorite t-shirt of mine. I've made multiple versions. I thought this color would be a nice contrast with the stripes, and I think it's super cute. I think that works really well. I am 100% living my best 80s life, sort of reminiscing about all the things I was wearing when I was a kid. But I think this works really well. I think the styles look really good together, so I think this is a definite winner. Now with the Heyday Dungarees, I think it works really well as well, honestly. You know, I think basic t-shirt, you kind of can't go too wrong when you're wearing overalls. I feel like the shape, the sort of silhouette, I think it works really well, and I think this is a fun choice for this fabric. This fabric I think would easily work this t-shirt with the other overalls as well. And here we've got the Manny Boat Tee, which is a free pattern by Tessuti Patterns. I think this pink version, it's a little bit too loose, I feel like, to suit it particularly. I feel like it's a bit bunchy on the sides, bunchy on the back. I love the colors together, and I like the tightness of the sleeves. I will say this is made with a viscose jersey, and so it has a bit more drape to it, which is why I left it with that looser style. But I have been thinking anyway that I want to narrow that side seam in a little bit, just because I feel like it's not particularly wearable for me. So I was thinking of making that adjustment, and I think I would count that one as a win. This is my other cotton jersey version, and this goes with both of them as well. I think it works really well for both. I wouldn't necessarily choose this color with these particular overalls, but I feel like the style and the silhouette works well, so I will make more of these, and it's nice to be able to have things to wear for warmer weather or for colder weather, and I think this is a win for this one. This is the La Brea Tee by Half Moon Atelier, one of my favorite top patterns. I've made a ton of these. This one is in a viscose fabric, and I think it works really well. I think it's a really great shape. It's really cool, really cute, and I think this particular fabric is a good one that goes well with the overalls here. I think it's a fun color contrast. And this is one of my favorites for sure. I think this is so perfect together. So this is another viscose La Brea tee. This one I did a little keyhole opening at the back of the neckline, but the blush pink spots on this navy blue are a really similar color, and I think it looks super cute together. Again, I think the shape and the silhouette of the shirt works really well for the overalls, both of them really. I have got a double gauze version of this t-shirt as well, so I thought I would see if it worked for these overalls, because I don't think the color would particularly work with the other one. I feel like it's just a bit too bulky, and I think it probably wouldn't work too well with either of them, so I think that one I'm going to count as a fail. I think the type of fabric as well, it just looks a bit crinkly and messy underneath the overalls in my opinion, so I don't think that's one that I would go for. And this is a cotton jersey version of the same shirt. As you can probably see, it's a little bit different because it's got this binding around the neckline, the sleeve, and the shoulder seam. But it's still the same basic block. It's the same pattern. It just has a different way of bringing it together with that binding. And I think this is super cute. I really love these ones together. I think the fabric's really fun. The colors together are really fun. I wasn't sure if it was going to be a little bit more bulky because it does feel a bit looser because it's in this cotton jersey, but I still think it works really well, and I can kind of tuck it in. It doesn't bulk out too much underneath the overalls. I feel like the style works really well for this one as well. I really like the fabrics together in general, but I would probably go with a slightly different colorway. I feel like this looks all a bit washed out together, unfortunately. The kind of light pinky lilac-y color with the light gray, I feel like doesn't pop quite right. Possibly this will go with the other version, but I'm definitely going to make more of these shirts anyway. It's one of my favorite shirts, so I will be happy to be able to make more versions to go with the overalls. And this one is the Adrian Blouse by Friday Pattern Company. I wasn't sure if the silhouettes would work together, and I really like this, honestly. I feel like it's really pretty. It is very fitted across the kind of bodice area, which I think makes sense with these overalls. It obviously has these big dramatic sleeves, but I think it's a cute combo. I'd be interested to know what you think. My husband isn't such a fan, but I think they look really cute together. And of course I do really love kind of pink and green together. It kind of gives me some watermelon feelings, which I'm a fan of, so I think it looks really cute. This is another Adrian Blouse. They're both made in a viscose jersey to be nice and drapey, and I feel like it just doesn't really suit the style of this one as much. I feel like oversized with oversized, so kind of the big sleeves with the oversized sort of look of the overalls, I feel like it just looks a bit like it doesn't quite fit me right. It doesn't look great. So I don't love this combo, unfortunately. I think this color of the Adrian Blouse would definitely go really well with the Jenny overalls, the green ones. So I could have worn that either, but yeah, I don't feel like this style of shirt really suits these overalls. So that's a bit of a fail, unfortunately. This is the Frankie Baseball Tee, which is the Tilly and the Buttons pattern from the stretch book. I think this is really cute. I wasn't sure how it was gonna work because it's a raglan sleeve, and it's an obvious raglan sleeve because of the different colors that I've used, the color blocking. But I feel like it's really cute together, and I think the bright, bold, punchy colors really work well contrasting. So I think this was a definite win for me. Similarly with these overalls, I think it works really well. It's a really cute, relaxed style. Again, I think a more fitted body is generally going to work pretty well. Particularly fitted sleeves, I think, make a big difference. This fabric as well happens to have the exact sort of pinky color on these flowers, so that definitely ties it in really beautifully, and I think it makes a really cute combo. On the color block theme, this is my Calypso color block tee by Sinclair Patterns. Personally, I feel like you kind of lose the color block with these overalls. I don't know, I really liked the concept, but I feel like you're not necessarily getting that look out of it. I feel like it just looks a little bit peculiar under the overalls, but tell me if you think I'm wrong, because I am open to options, but I think I'm gonna say I don't really like the way this one works out on here, unfortunately. And another Calypso color block tee, and again, I don't really feel like you're getting the color block element. And yeah, I feel like it's probably just all a little bit hidden and pointless for these overalls. I think these colors as well, again, we're looking just a little bit washed out, but I just felt like this would be a better option as far as trying to get the colors to go together. But even if I made them with different colors, different fabrics, I just don't think the style particularly works for these. This one I would say was a bit of a wild card. This is my Birdie button-up blouse by Pattern Scout, and I did not think that these were gonna work together, and they really freaking do. Like, I think this is super cute. It's a surprising win, I would say, for this one. The floral fabric I think goes well anyway, and I was considering using this as my lining for the bib, but I just think it's a really fun combination. The nice sort of floral feminine element to this t-shirt, or this blouse rather, goes well, I think, with the overalls, kind of the more masculine vibe of the overalls. I think it looks really cute. Unfortunately, I think it just does not work as much with the style of the Heyday Dungarees. I feel like it's just too different. They're coming from very different worlds. One is much more kind of dressy, one is much more casual and relaxed, and I just don't feel like it works out, this combination, unfortunately. Because one button-up shirt worked, I thought I might as well try another one, and I don't think this one works as well. This one is the Harrison shirt by Kashmirette. I think the colors are fantastic together. I want this one to work, but I just feel like the style of the shirt is a bit more structured, and it's also just a little bit more bulky around the waist and the hip area, and it's not very comfortable to put together. I sort of to wear together, I guess, but I feel like also, yeah, they're competing styles. I don't think it works. I did have to try them on the Heyday Dungarees, but yeah, not the winning combo, I would say. I think they're just too different as far as styling. I feel like it's more gonna suit a relaxed style shirt, I think, these kinds of overalls in particular. I tried unbuttoning thinking that might help, and it is a tiny bit better. One more button undone, but I still just, yeah, I don't think it's a win, unfortunately, this one. This is my Freya top, which is another one from the Tilly and the Button stretch book. This is my navy viscose jersey Freya top that goes with absolutely everything I own. I feel like it's such a staple in my wardrobe. I absolutely love it, and I think it suits these overalls perfectly. Really fun combo these colors together, but yeah, they're just, it's such a great silhouette, I think, under overalls. I think they're really cute, and I love the 3-length sleeves as well. I think it's just a really great look. And just the same with the Heyday Dungarees, super cute together. I think they look so fantastic. I think I need to make a lot more of these tops so that I can wear them in all different colors, because I really love wearing it, and I think it goes so well with both of these overalls. This is the Freya top as well, but with a cowl neck, and I didn't know if that one would work, and I think it actually does. I think the colors are pretty cool together, but I think the style, the cowl neck, I think it works better than I thought it might with the overalls. I think it's a cute one. I think turtlenecks and mock turtlenecks work really well with overalls, but I don't have any of those, so watch this space. I'll need to get some next winter. But I think the cowl neck, this one works pretty well. And this is one of these shirts that ended up a little bit shorter than I wanted it to be, and so I tend to not wear it as much, but wearing it with the overalls means I don't have to worry because they're kind of tucked into a really high waist. And for the Heyday Dungarees, I think it works really well here as well. Again, nice, good color combo. I think it works really well. So this is like a purple and a light gray combination. This is a polyester jersey that I got from Goldhawk Road, but I think this combination looks really cute. I think I'm going to want to wear this in the winter, definitely. And my Agnes top, I knew this was going to work really well. My long sleeve Agnes top from Tilly and the Buttons. I love this combination. Super, super cute. Very similar to the Freya as far as the general fit and style, but with the long sleeve, this one's even a little bit more fitted, a little bit lower in the neckline. I think it looks so great. And the fabric is a lot of fun, and I know that I'm gonna wear this a lot. Same fabric, looks again super cute on these Heyday Dungarees. I think this is such a great combination, absolutely adorable. I think that works really well. I think the fit and the silhouette work perfectly, probably for any overalls, honestly. I think the Agnes top and overalls are a winning combination, and I really love the way these ones look together. Because this one has a slightly lower bib, I think I even prefer the look of the neckline on this, but honestly I think they're both big, big winners. Okay, this one is definitely a classic. I think a tank top, any tank top with overalls is always gonna work. This is the Super Basic Tank by Half Moon Atelier, which is a free tank top pattern. I love the colors together. I do have quite a few of these, but unfortunately the other colors don't particularly work, but it was more just to get an idea of the style. I think this is such a great look for the summer when you want to stay nice and cool. I do love the general shape and silhouette of this top with these overalls as well. And yes, it was always going to work for both. I think, like I said, tank tops and overalls, it's just classic. It goes super, super well. I think it's kind of nice as well. The low back of this tank top looks pretty cute on these overalls. But yeah, the general shape. This one is another one where this color works, but the other colors that I have of these tank tops don't. But you know, I can make more tank tops. That's not a problem. It's just really great to know that this should work as a general style that I've got in my wardrobe already. And the peppermint wrap top I thought I would have a go with, though I wasn't necessarily sure that it was going to work. I thought it was probably a bit more of a wild card, but you just never know. And yeah, this is a fail. It's just too bizarre. With the side tie, you really lose the kind of wrap neckline as well. I feel like it's just a bit of a bizarre combo. So it's not one that I'm going to be reaching for, but you know, you gotta try, because if you don't try, you don't find these things. And probably, possibly even worse, this is like double linen, which isn't necessarily a bad idea, but because the sort of side is a little bit lower cut around the overalls as well, I'm getting a bit of my side peeking out, which I'm not particularly a fan of, and because this is quite a cropped top. But yeah, the styles are, they're not working together. I think this is not a winning combination. And obviously I like this one because it's the one that I'm wearing today. It's the one that I have worn for the photos of these overalls. This is my top that is based on the Agnes top. So it's got the neckline and the sleeves of the Agnes top, though I have shortened the sleeves a bit. And then I also did just change the shape of it to make it a little bit less tight and to fit better over the bust. So I used my Basic Instinct tee, which was the first shirt I showed, as my basis for the body, and then I slimmed it down a little bit. I think this top looks so cute with both of these fabrics, honestly, and with both of these styles. You don't need me to get into the details. Like I said, I clearly really do love this one a lot. So I was pleasantly surprised with how much I managed to find for both of these, to be honest with you. I wasn't sure how wearable and pairable these were going to be, but I feel like they both slot in pretty well into the current wardrobe that I've already got. The Jenny overalls do have a slight edge because there were 11 items that I could pair them with in my wardrobe, whereas the Heyday Dungarees there were only 9. The other thing I would say is because of the fabric choice, and I'm not putting this on the pattern, but just for my own like wearability, I think there are more things that I could pair with the Jenny overall fabric that I used, and so a lot of the tops that I wore with the Heyday Dungarees I could also wear with the Jenny overalls, whereas I probably might not say the same, kind of vice versa. I think a lot of what I wanted to do by trying on all these different outfits as well is to see what they look like, see what they felt like, and try and work out which style feels more like me. You know, we all have our own personal style and things that we're comfortable in, things that we feel like ourselves in, and I think for me, on the whole, the Jenny overalls just felt more like me and my own personal style. The Heyday Dungarees I really liked, but I almost kind of felt like I was wearing somebody else's really cool overalls. So I think considering all of that, I do have to say the winner of the Dueling Dungarees has got to be the Jenny Overalls by Closet Core Patterns. Not only does it feel like my style, I really enjoy the construction techniques. I really love the way that these are finished. I think they look really professional. They were so much fun to put together as well. It was a super satisfying project on the whole. I also just prefer this silhouette, this shape on my body, and I feel like they were just so fun, so easy to style, easy to wear, and really functional. So I don't know about you guys, but I really enjoyed this whole process. I thought it was really cool to step out of my comfort zone, make something a little bit different, and actually ended up finding 2 new garments that I'm going to wear in my wardrobe all the time. I know that there were a few people out there who were wondering if dungarees or overalls were the kind of style that they would wear and they weren't sure if they'd slot into their wardrobe. So I hope this might have helped you make some decisions. Do let me know in the comments down below if you decide to have a go at making some of your own overalls, whether it's these patterns or a different pattern. I would love to hear about it, and I would love to hear about your journey as you go about making them as well. I am definitely planning to do more of these Clash of the Patterns in the future. I've had some great suggestions before, but I would love to hear if you've got more suggestions of things that I should be making and comparing in the future as well. Thank you so much for joining on this journey for me. If you want to see more Clash of the Patterns in the future or more of my videos in general, make sure you have subscribed down below. If you do want to give me a thumbs up and a like, you know that it always helps other people to find my videos, so I really do appreciate it. And I will see you all very soon. Bye!